Hello, and welcome to Mechwarrior Online. I want to talk about something that's kind of unusual. So, we'll pretend for a moment you have this really big mech here, like this Marauder 2C. This is the A variant. And you've got all these weapons you feel like you can put on it. And you want it to be more powerful than its heavyweight contenders, like the standard Marauder. But you think, you know what? It should have more weapon on it than it does on the previous one. Well, assault mechs are not about having more weapon than heavy mechs or mediums or anything. They have a tendency to do that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it is going to be, just because it can hold more weight, that it should hold more weight. And what I'm meaning by that is, what makes an assault mech so special isn't the fact that it can put bigger weapons on there, is that it has more armor so it can stand out longer on the battlefield. Now, you shouldn't take this to mean that you can go and just tank with any mech that comes along, because light mechs can still fold you like yesterday's laundry. What you should take away from this is that you can spend more time on the battlefield dishing out more damage than your heavyweight contenders. Like this guy. This guy has got a really big butt. I mean, really big. And I married a redhead. And it's got really large side torsos. Remember, when you shoot here, you're hitting the side torso. You're not hitting the arm. The arms are way down here. They're way up in front. So this thing presents a really big target on the battlefield. It's got a lot of armor to protect it, but you still have to take these things into consideration. So don't just go willy-nilly running into the battlefield thinking you're going to take out smaller mechs. Let's take a look at this guy. So on this particular build, I'm running 4 ER medium lasers. I'm running an Ultra AC-10, and I'm running 2 Ultra AC-5s. Now, if you know anything about me, I'm not a big fan of UX, but this is an exception. And I could have run a lot of different ways on this. In fact, I could have gone down to, say, like a standard engine. So, as an example, we'll just strip this for a moment. So, I could have just gone with something that'll get me running around on the battlefield, 48 kph, a standard engine. That gives me all this open space here. And then from here, I could have gone with, like, you know, an AC-20 and some change. Maybe like another AC-5 or something to go with it. Wouldn't have had room for an AC-10. Actually, I do have room for an AC-10. So I could have gone with an AC-20 and an AC-10. And my heat is still really good. 1.85. Oh, that'll never get really hot. And then, so I've got all this open space here. Well then, what can we do with it? Let's put some big lasers on here. This is going to run smooth and cool because I've still got all this extra tonnage available. And all this extra space. Now my heat management's not very good, 1.97. So let's put some ammo on board. And get some ammo for those AC-20s. And I'm just putting this any place. So now I've got all this added on here. What else can I do? Well, we gotta get heat sinks on here because it's gotta stay cool. I'm quickly running out of space. So I guess what we have to do is we have to go to light ferrous. Oh, we don't have that option. We've got a standard. Oh, I've got all that extra room now. I can do all these heat sinks on here, and the mech will stay cool. So now I've got a 1.3 heat management, and I have all this extra space, and now I can actually bump the motor up a little bit more. And I can take one of these heat sinks and put it indoors. So now we have this mech that's set up that's got a heat management of 1.3. It's got lots of cooling, and it's got these weapons on here. Now if I wanted to, I could sacrifice these out and go with ER medium lasers like I had before, but no. I want to bring as much to the battlefield as I possibly can. The only thing I might consider is, you know what, I should take this off and put a sensor probe on there. No, why would I do that? It's not going to give me more weapon on the battlefield. Well, this actually gives you more weapon on the battlefield. Increase the sensor range so you can see targets further away and you're more aware of their presence, which lends to giving you more armor. That is more armor. Don't deny it whatsoever. It's absolutely more armor. Spatial awareness is more armor. Counters ECM. That's a big help as well. Speeds up targeting data so you know how badly damaged that mech is that you're firing upon. You get a lock on them, you can see what their damage is. Most people think locks are all about missiles. No. Locks are about knowing the condition of the mech that you're dealing with. It does have a lot to do with missiles, but coming from me, I've got 1,000+ videos, more like 1.5 thousand videos of me shooting missiles, and I can tell you without a doubt that I fire a lot of missiles without a lock. Do I prefer a lock? Sometimes. No, not all the time. I fire a lot of missiles without locks, and it works out for me. You've seen my pushing daisies. A lot of those kills doesn't involve having a lock. The lock eventually comes, but sometimes you can just fire your weapon directly at the target, and sometimes I actually target stealth mechs or mechs that are hiding, doing snipe activity. But anyway, so you got this really big badass build here. So you had this clan active probe on here. Well, you've got a speed of 56, which is not bad. Really, it's not that bad. And you got some really good armor on here. Lots of armor. You can go out and tank on the battlefield, and you're going to push a lot of damage. The problem is the first time you start firing these two guys here, your heat's going to go right through the ceiling. That 1.3 is going to feel like you marked this thing up at a 0.87, because those are going to get really hot really fast. Heaven forbid you should take a strike in the left torso. Maybe you still have the left torso, but you know what? These double heat sinks, you're going to lose a couple, one or two, maybe more. And as soon as you lose these, all of this goes away. So you got a shield. You want a shield with your left side to protect your primary weapons, but at the risk of losing your heat sinks. Now your heat is down to a 111. Still not bad. Now if you lose an arm trying to protect the broken side here, because you don't want to get torso killed, now you're got down to a 1.02. That's a problem as well. So the real solution would have been to probably go with a lighter build, and that's why I went to this build. I looked at all this. I could have seen this. Oh, and let's look at this firepower. The firepower is 70, but realistically we know that's a lot higher, because if you do the DPS on this, you're going to be punching out way above your weight class. You're going to be able to go in, deal with a Fafnir. You do this here, you're going to take out a left torso on a Fafnir like it's nothing, because this is going to deal a lot of damage. It's going to get really hot, but it's going to deal a lot of damage really fast. But that's why I went down to this build here. This only delivers 44 damage. I watched a recent video of Captain Caveman. If you're not following him, check out his link in my description below. He's got a great channel, and if you're looking for where do I go for entertaining videos, I go to see him, and I go to battletech operational, battle mech operational. Sorry, battle mech operational. I did a review of his videos, and I check out his stuff. And there's a reason why he's got like 1,000, almost 1,000 subscribers, because he's got a great channel. So anyway, so I went with this build here, And what this build here gives me is something that is going to give me longevity in the battlefield. First of all, I'm running this this XL engine. Now on a clan mech, this isn't a big deal. On an Intersphere mech, it might be a big deal. But on this clan mech, I can lose a torso, and it's not the end of the world. And what are the benefits is I've got a lot of my heat sinks on board. I've got 4 double heat sinks on board, which gives me staying power in the battlefield. If I lose a torso, it's not the end of the world. It might be the end of my major weapons, but it's not going to be the end of the world, because I still got all my cooling built in. Now, you can't go zombie mech on this and lose your left and right torso, because XLs have got limits, even on clan mechs. But what I do get out of this is I've got a heat management of 1.29. I've got 2 Ultra AC5s and an Ultra AC10. And how I fire these is I fire these 2 guys together, and then this guy is a backup weapon. And if you look at how this is set up, these 2 guys here fire as a primary weapons up above. Now, I could have gone with an Ultra AC10 in this case, and then another Ultra AC10 here. It's going to pretty much do the same amount of damage, but I wanted this one because I wanted survivability. If one of these jams up, I still have the other. If both of these jams up, I still have this. So I still have 3 weapons that I can fire, and the odds of all 3 of these jamming up is really small. Now, to save ammo, I could have gone with 3 Ultra AC5s, and I would have had a little bit more space to add double heat sinks and, you know, a bunch of other stuff. But this is the way I wanted to go with this build, and the reason is because I watched a video that Marauder did about 5 years ago, and it sold me on this build. He had a build similar to this. It wasn't this particular setup, but it was pretty similar. And this worked out really well for me. And this is how I'm running this. I purposely have one of the double heat sinks over here. I probably could have put it over here, but I wanted to protect my ammo as much as I possibly could, because I spend all my time shielding with my left side. It's just an instinct. I just automatically switch to the left side to protect my weapons over here, and it's because I've gotten used to it driving the Marauder 3R. So this build here doesn't have nearly as much damage dealing as that other build that I showed you with the standard motor on board. It's 44 damage, but look at my speed. 48 versus 68. That's a huge difference. That's 20 kph faster. Heat management 1.29. It's about the same, honestly. But with speed, I have the ability to protect myself better. And I should probably do the one thing that I talked about earlier. Yes. Put this on board. Now, I have 1 ton of ammo here. Is that right? Yeah. I actually should be 2 tons. I keep forgetting to do this. So I have 2 tons of ammo here for the Ultra AC10, and then the rest of the ammo, which is 5.5 tons, is for the 2 Ultra AC5s. And by the way, these things have a lot more ammo at 80, which is 92, versus what the AC10 has, which is 72. So this is going to work out really well. Remember, the Clan Active Probe is all about spatial awareness. By the way, if you didn't know it, this is kind of what this video is about. It's spatial awareness and being able to survive longer on the battlefield. Yeah, I've got a lot more armor than a lot of other mechs, like heavy mechs that are out there on the battlefield. But remember, this is only an 85-ton assault mech. And loading yourself up with huge amounts of weapons. I've seen people go out on the battlefield with just insane builds. You know, they're running .99 heat management, and they think, oh yeah, I'm just going to go out there and I'm just going to one-shot mechs left and right. And a lot of times, more often than not, they end up chalk outlines on the battlefield before the match even gets going. They're too slow to get to the battlefield in time. Because if you can't keep up with your group, guess what? The wildebeest that lags behind is the one that's picked off by the lions. And that's what happens. You don't want to get picked off because you're too slow. Now, if you're in an annihilator, you might be able to hang for a while and be able to take care of things. But moving is living. That is a fact. If you're a stationary target, you're so easy to hit. I do this weird thing that I've developed over the years where I'm constantly moving my mech around just a little bit. I don't even know I'm doing it most of the time. But I'm making it a little bit harder for people to get locks on me. And it's because I've been headshot a few times, like 7 or 8 times. And I really don't like that, but it's what it is. Anyway, I hope this was useful information, and I hope to see you on the battlefield.